Life is good for an all-pro, six-time Pro Bowler, member of like the all 2010s team, I believe. Um, Calais, it's great to see you. I'm getting a little like emotional or like schmoopy about this because I'm like scared it's your last year. So it's like, oh man, it's like the last time I get to like interview you as a player.
It's true. It's very likely, but I say, games like last week make you be like, I could probably still do this a little longer.
What is it about this? I like this angle. What is it about this 2025 team that is going to make you golfing, taking up another hobby, impossible?
You know, my mindset has always been like play well enough where if I want to play again, I can. It's not really so much of like, anything else. I just want to play well enough where if I don't want to suck at football. And so if I feel like I'm sucking at football, I'm going to shut it down because that's just not good. Like I feel like I played too good a ball. I don't want my legacy, I don't want to, hang around 1 year too long. I'd rather retire a year too early than a year too late.
You're like saving the day in these games so far this season. So you're certainly not done yet. But are you living in the moment?
I am, I feel like I told myself, like, just lose yourself in the moment. Don't worry about, any of the possibilities of what could come. Just like play football with heart and just like leave it on the field. And, I even got a suite on the field, which costs a pretty penny. So I got my family close by so I could be able to interact with my kids kind of, before the game and after the game immediately, and even like at halftime, which was unique. But it was just like keeping things that like really mean something to me close by, and like the whole mindset right now is just like, eventually I got to go and be, super dad and put
Yeah.
all this, my selfish ways to the side because, like you could say I'm playing football to, for my kids, but I'm not. I'm playing for myself. Like I love this game, and it's a passion of mine. But eventually I got to go home and just be a super dad all the time. But if I'm going to sacrifice time with my kids and my family, I'm going to enjoy coming to the building. I'm going to maximize it to the fullest
Yeah.
because, I could do the other stuff.
I would say you are a super dad, and maybe you are doing it little for your kids because seeing them on the field, and I saw them all over social media, and you've got them one on each shoulder. Like it's beautiful, and it's what's important. I like that you deserve to be living in the moment. I love that for you, but you're kicking everyone's ass. So let's get to that. The game ending sack on Little Bryce Young to close it out on Sunday. What did it feel like, Calais, to have your first game back at State Farm Stadium in a Cardinals jersey end like that?
That was pretty surreal. I don't think you could have drawn it better if you were writing the story. It was, like I tried, I mean, like I didn't even realize how much of like emotions would be there. But when I
Mm.
came out, even when I started getting into the tunnel to get announced, and I'm kind of just like walking back and forth, and I had that feeling of like, oh wow, like this is like home. And then running out of the tunnel like I've always have, and like hearing that crowd roar, and the crowd went crazy. It was like, okay, that's a good feeling. And then I went down to like, the place I always used to go to. They called it Calais Corner back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
and I did my prayer, and I just kind of like had a moment interacting with some fans, and it just felt so like, like comfortable and like and natural, real, and I just had this like, just a good strong emotion, just fluster of emotions, and then as the game kind of started, I was like, dang, I ain't really playing the way I want to play. I gotta find my groove. And then I was talking to my coach, a couple players, and I finally, as I kind of got in my mind, got into that feeling. I got to kind of start feeling just my presence. I had my gladiator moment where you kind of just grab your grass and rub it together, and you kind of just like kind of feel your senses,
Mm-hmm.
and then making a couple plays to win the ball game, and that was just, I mean, it was a good feeling. Like after making that play, how the crowd erupted. I mean,
Yeah.
you couldn't do it a bit better.
The last sack you had at State Farm Stadium was 2016. It was the year I started Good Morning Football. I remember it. It was winter. It was December. It felt like a movie watching that.
Wow. Yeah,
I
there's
loved
still
it.
time in between, that's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely has been. Let's keep going down memory lane here a little bit. It was very impressive to watch what you're doing, what this team is doing. We'll get to that, of course. Do you remember your stat line from the first time you faced the Panthers as a rookie in 2008?
No.
You had a couple of tackles, Calais. It's okay. We're getting older. Memory's fading. A
No.
couple tackles. You had a kick return of 16 yards. Calais, what the heck is that stat line?
I remember getting a kick return, I low key feel like I saw when the ball like got squibbed to me. I laid on the ground for a second, and then one team said, "Get up, run!"
Yeah.
And because so I got up and I took off, and I low key I had a little juice. Like I was like, man, I got a little wiggle. And I mean, think about my potential almost playing tight end. I probably could have been pretty good tight end, but I didn't realize I was against Carolina though. That's cool. I just remember the kickoff return, but all I remember is like ball in my hands and me trying to avoid getting hit.
I'm just reminding it to everyone we're building the Hall of Fame resume. Everyone's going to build those full screens. You have the TV visits, but let's make sure that that kickoff return of 16 yards is up there for Calais. You tried it a couple other times, 0 yards. That was your most successful vibe right there.
Yeah, the other ones were like fair catches
We
or
watched them today. I
yeah.
saw. It's
Yeah,
fun to
you bring back
revisit.
memories for sure.
Yeah, it's fun to revisit all of that. I mean, you've almost done it all, right? All pro. 2019 Walter Payton Man of the Year was probably the most important, impressive, and I'm sure one that means the most to you. Outside of a ring, what is the most important thing for you to accomplish before you do consider your career complete?
Well, I don't really think about like my career being complete in like terms of like stats or success.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just enjoying the ride. I love it and I'm still good at it. Like I don't really need to do anything else like stat wise.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I want to move up some lists, like I was talking to a couple guys, I didn't realize until
Talk to me.
one of the young guys asked me how many TFLs I had. So we looked it up and I was like, oh, I'm only, at the time I was 15 away from first place. I was like, at 15, I could do that. So that's became a goal of mine this year is to try to get 15 TFLs. I already missed two, but I got two. So I should have four right now, but I only have two. But
Mm.
I was in the backfield, just got to make the play. But that's on the list. And then there's a couple guys that of our era that have more sacks to me that I would like to pass on the list. One of the legends I just passed, Aaron Donald. And then JJ's on the list,
Yeah.
sacks ahead of me, so I would like to pass him too. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'll never say none of this, but these are my goals. Those
It's me. I love it. You and me. You're just telling me. I love that. I like that because now when we're watching, we know that that's like in your head a little bit that you want you want them that much. And I love that. I mean, you're well on your way with those sacks, right? 2 sacks for the first 2 games of the season. No pressure here, but I'm calling for it. I'm calling for a return to 2018 double digit sacks such situation.
I mean, when you get off to a fast start, you got a chance.
Yeah.
I told myself though, like even last game, like I'm not even trying to chase that like the stats. I just want to play some good football. And I feel like in my history of playing football, when I just go out there and try to like play at elite level, the sacks take care of themselves. But there are times where you just like, I mean, when I got to 99, I was chasing 100 and it took me forever. I'm just like
It's the worst.
hitting quarterbacks there, throwing as I'm hitting them, penalties get called. Like it's just like like so close, but I'm getting back to like all right, whatever happens, happens. I'm just playing good football, and but I have a feeling this could be a really special year.
This isn't some cute storyline, some homecoming, and that's what your GM said. It's not a homecoming tour that you're still playing at such a high level and you're showing that. And I love that. I feel like you're like reinvigorated being back there. And it's really lovely to see. It's a nice bookend potentially. The run defense is amazing. What are we crediting that to? 78 yards per game, one rushing touchdown. What is going so well there?
Yeah, I'm still sick that we gave him that one rushing touchdown. I feel like I could have made a play. I just early season, just whatever. I ain't gonna make no excuses, but we're trying to set the bar. The goal is to keep them under 80 yards a game, which is tough to do in this league, but that's the goal that we set as a D line for ourselves. A big part of that though is winning first down, and
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot of guys who can play this game at a elite level, and we keep a fresh line. I mean, we're doing like hockey line changes. It's pretty crazy. Like you got 3 plays, 4 plays, and you out, and so guys are fresh, but we're pretty deep, and when it comes to the run game, like I tell guys every time before we go out there in the field, make the plays. They do not run the ball. If they don't run the ball, teams are going to have a hard time beating us because we're going to have great pass rush. We're going to have our coach does a good job with our disguises and coverage and rotating different coverages and stuff. So, quarterbacks have a hard time figuring we're in. Our centers do an
Mm.
incredible job. They're like quarterbacks out there. So if we shut down the run, we have a chance to win every ball game.
I think there's questions about your quarterback in Kyler Moore. People want to see, the talent level. What do you see in him that makes you believe that this team can contend?
Well, he has all the talent in the world. And when he's in the zone, the best quarterback in football. You can say arguably, but
Yeah.
he's got the gift, and he's a playmaker. He has just like instincts. I played against him and seen him make play after play. And so being on his team, I know those moments are coming. To me, I feel like media, you have to talk about something, right? And we're going to talk about and project and all that.
You know,
And I love it. I hope to be there one day doing
you
my
will.
projections and stuff. But one thing I know is we're scrappy and he's scrappy. And even if we're down 30 points in the game, he's gonna call and trying to get back. He's not gonna just quit. He's gonna fight, try to make every throw to try to win a ball game. And it's football. Like there's gonna be some games you definitely win, some games you definitely lose, and then the bulk of them are gonna be, where you got last drive matters. He's going to have to go down there and win a 2-minute drive for us to win a ball game, and we're going to have to get stops like we had the last two games. And I think for us to be as good as we want to be, it really comes down to just making the plays that come to us. And I feel like we dominated
Hmm.
like 50 minutes, 40 minutes of these first two ball games. And then we had like just these lapses here and there. And that's, I mean, first, early game, trying to work through the kinks. But when we put it together, man, I think we're one of the best teams in football and we can hang with anybody. But at the same time, it's just talk, right? Anybody can say anything,
Hmm.
we'll back it up. And, I think we got a good opportunity this week against San Francisco. They're a 2-0 team as well. I think people give them a lot of respect, and they should because they earn it. They're a great defense. Got weapons on offense galore.
Hmm.
You know, quarterbacks. Back practicing, he might play. I mean, it's going to be a tough ball game. But I'll say this. I'm looking forward to go up there into their house and playing a good football game.
I mean,
Go
you're
up
using the word dominant. You guys are confident. You have faith. I love this. And you do have those Niners. I don't, are you, so it sounds like you're like excited to face Trent Williams. Like, I don't know. It couldn't be me. It couldn't be me, Calais, to be happy about that.
I'm gonna go and say hello to him though, because to me, like, he's the best of our era. And I like going against the best. That's where you get to really measure yourself. And so like, I'm gonna go over there and say hello, of course. But some other guys, that are playing on that side, they're like, no, no, I'm good over here. And I'm like, no, we go rotate a little bit. We
Mm.
gonna take turns competing against him. But I got so much respect for his game. He's a legend, one of the best in the business of all time, definitely in my era of football. And I'm looking forward to go out there and compete against the best.
Love that you're going to handle Mac Jones. I know you've played him once before, back in 2022. I wish you guys all the luck. 3-0 would be insane and amazing and such a statement to the NFC West. I'm hoping you guys can get it done. Last time I saw you in person, we were drenched, sweating in the humidity of Miami. Okay, I remember training camp last year. It has not gone their way. They're the opposite of you. They haven't won a game. This does not look like the team that I saw down the stretch last year. So much talent. It's sort of like my biggest question mark team. Like, what's going on there? So I ask you, Calais, what is going on there?
Yeah, I say give him time. Give him time. They got some ballers over there, and they're not gonna just quit either, And so I mean, last year we were 2-6 and found a way to get back into the fight, So I mean, 0-2 is an easier hole to dig out of. And I know they're playing Thursday night, against
Mm-hmm.
a beast of an opponent. So even if they go down 0-3, give them time. They got some beasts over there. I still talk to Zach Sealer and Benito Jones and Jordan Brooks, and I know those guys are hungry and locked in, and they're gonna keep fighting. They're not gonna lay down. So I know in this business, especially early in the season, but even the Kansas City Chiefs are 0-2, right? We know who they are though, and they're gonna, I would be very surprised if they're not in the mix when it's all said and done. They're just too good. They're too
What do
talented.
you mean? All of sports media thinks they're it's over.
Yeah, well, I remember back in the day when Tom Brady, I don't know if they started 0-2 or if they were 2-2, and
Mm-hmm.
oh, the dynasty's over, and then they win the Super Bowl. That you're like, I get it. We have to make projections and all that stuff, but let's pump the brakes. It's early football. Like, you got to go out there and prove it. This is September. Not until you get to October, November is when you really kind of start seeing who people really are. And then some teams get hot. Like, I mean, I remember my few times in big games, we kind of all kind of started off just okay. and then we got
Mm.
more time, especially in 2008 in Arizona. I mean, at the end of the year, we won a couple ball games, that we needed to win, and we got hot at the right time, and then took off in the playoffs and dominated everybody who was so much better than us. Like, it's football. You got to just get hot at the right time.
You have the Jags in Arizona week 12. I'm sure you're not thinking about that right now, but does that mean anything to you? What is that? What does that do to you?
I mean, it's definitely a game that was circle. They all really are, but it'd be a fun game. But that's so far away. It doesn't even exist to me right now.
I figured you're focused on Mac Jones. I'm sure that'll be a huge challenge for for you, Calais. I wanted to ask you about your T-shirt. Well, with what you're wearing here, it's the Cardinals Climb tee. I know it's very special, and I know that you are involved.
Yeah, so there's 1 in 20 people in the United States who suffer from special needs, and so this is just kind of a representation for us to really we're doing I think it's February 21st. You can go to cardinalsclimb.com, and when you go through it, you'll get all the information you need to see. But it's just a great way for us to kind of shine some light on people with special needs, and to raise money and funds to help those programs and help those kids in need.
And it's 100% focused on supporting the special needs community, which is absolutely beautiful. I love that you're wearing the T-shirt. And yeah, wear it proudly. There we go. You know that you've sacked like 50 plus quarter.
It's been a lot.
Crazy. Who haven't you gotten?
So, I mean, I've gotten Patrick Mahomes, but never that it counts. Every time I got Patrick Mahomes, it's a penalty. Every time. The
Every time
penalty,
what?
every time I sacked Patrick Mahomes, there was a penalty, and he threw it away a couple times too. And it's just like, oh, so it never counted. So Patrick Mahomes is on my list, but
Okay.
it won't be unless I play him in the Super Bowl because we don't play him this year.
Listen, you might go to the Super Bowl. You keep sacking quarterbacks like this.
It's possible.
Calais, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being so open to all the questions. And I cannot wait to see you on my side, but please don't come here very soon because I'm excited about this team, the way it's going, and I'm glad that you're enjoying every moment.
Thank you.